I never thought a simple drop-off at my son's friend's house would change everything about who I am, but that's exactly what happened on that quiet afternoon when I met Elena, the mother of my son Jake's best friend, Tim. She opened the door with a warm smile that lingered just a second too long, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders, wearing a simple sundress that hugged her curves in a way that made my heart skip unexpectedly. I had come to pick up Jake after a play date, but he and Tim were still deep in their video game, laughing uproariously in the living room, so Elena invited me in for coffee, saying it would be nice to chat while we waited. As we sat at her kitchen table, sipping from mugs that steamed gently in the cool air, she talked about her life as a single mom, how Tim's dad had left years ago, and how she poured all her energy into raising him right. Her voice was soft, melodic, with a hint of vulnerability that drew me in, and I found myself sharing more than I usually did, about my own marriage that had grown stale, my husband always working late, leaving me feeling invisible and unappreciated at home. Elena listened intently, her green eyes locking onto mine, and when she reached across the table to touch my hand in sympathy, a spark shot through me like electricity, warm and confusing, making my skin tingle in places I hadn't felt alive in years. We talked for hours that day, the boys oblivious upstairs, and by the time I left with Jake, I couldn't shake the way her laugh echoed in my mind or how her perfume lingered on my clothes. Over the next weeks, our conversations became frequent, texts about school events, then longer calls at night when the kids were asleep, sharing secrets about our dreams and frustrations. One evening, she invited me over without the boys, saying she had made dinner and needed adult company, and I accepted without hesitation, telling my husband I was meeting a friend for wine. When I arrived, the house was dimly lit with candles, soft music playing, and Elena greeted me in a silk blouse that accentuated her figure, pulling me into a hug that pressed our bodies close, her breasts soft against mine, sending a rush of heat between my legs that I tried to ignore at first. We ate pasta and drank red wine, laughing about parenting mishaps, but the air grew thick with tension as our knees brushed under the table, neither of us pulling away. After dinner, we moved to the couch, and she confessed how lonely she felt sometimes, how she craved connection beyond motherhood, and I admitted the same, my voice trembling as I spoke of feeling trapped in a life that no longer excited me. Then, without warning, she leaned in, her lips brushing mine softly at first, testing, and when I didn't pull back, the kiss deepened, her tongue exploring my mouth with a gentleness that made me melt. My hands found her waist, pulling her closer, and we kissed passionately, years of suppressed desires flooding out as clothes began to slip off, her blouse unbuttoned, revealing lace bra that I traced with my fingers, eliciting moans from her that vibrated through me. We moved to her bedroom, where she undressed me slowly, kissing every inch of skin revealed, her mouth on my neck, my breasts, sucking nipples that hardened instantly under her attention, waves of pleasure building as her hand slid between my thighs, finding me wet and aching. I gasped as her fingers circled my clit, expert and knowing, bringing me to my first orgasm with a woman, shattering any doubts about what I wanted. That night, we explored each other fully, her tongue delving into my folds, tasting me deeply while I gripped the sheets, then me reciprocating, hesitant at first but guided by her encouragement, licking her sweet essence until she came on my face, her thighs clamping around my head in ecstasy. It was tender, intense, liberating, and as we lay entwined afterward, whispering affections, I realized this was the start of my true self emerging, a queer awakening sparked by this beautiful woman who saw me in ways no one else had. Our secret visits continued whenever possible, stolen moments when the boys were at school or activities, meeting at her house or sometimes a hotel for longer afternoons of lovemaking that grew more adventurous, incorporating toys she introduced, vibrators buzzing against our clits as we scissored together, grinding pussies in slick harmony, orgasms sinking in explosive bliss. I began questioning everything about my past attractions, realizing fleeting crushes on women I'd dismissed as admiration were actually desire, and Elena nurtured this discovery, sharing her own journey of coming out later in life after her marriage ended. She taught me about queer culture subtly, recommending books, shows, music that resonated deeply, helping me embrace this identity blooming inside me. Guilt crept in sometimes about hiding from my husband and son, but the joy outweighed it, making me feel alive, desired, whole. One weekend, when my husband was away on business and Jake at a sleepover, Elena planned a special night, decorating her